Welcome to this week's episode of Confessions of a Fitness Professional. I'm your Fit Pro, Andrea Anderson, and we're going to dive into gratitude. So, this week's confession is that I have had to learn how to be grateful as an adult. Let me explain. Growing up, I'm from a big family. There were 4 kids in my family growing up, and I was number 2. So I consider myself a middle child. And it was pressed into me from a very early age that if you wanted something, you had to go and earn it, go achieve it. And there was a great emphasis placed on being independent. So in my head, the way that I synthesized that information was that in order to get where I wanted to be, I had to rely on myself. And it was impolite to ask people to help me get there. It was very much expected that I provide my own source of entertainment, that I become resourceful and I figure things out on my own. And I'm not, we're not here to place blame or bash others. This was a synthesis of information that I received, how I interpreted it. I interpreted what I learned as be resourceful, be independent, don't ask for help. And I really took that to heart. I enjoyed being a leader. I enjoyed getting things done. I enjoyed learning and the process of learning and new information. I've always enjoyed learning and gathering new information. And I have made myself, in all of my professions, a resource for others. That's just something that I have taken upon myself to do. I enjoy being a resource for others. I enjoy synthesizing information and sharing what I know with others. So I do that in my education work and also in my fitness work as your fitness pro. So all of that to say, I had to learn how to be grateful and how to express gratitude as an adult. This was not something, I am so sure that I could probably even hear my mother's voice behind me. What do we say? Thank you. So I had that rote memorization of when somebody does something, say thank you, regardless of whether you appreciated their effort. However, I never, ever thought it was okay to ask people to do something for me. So I became very, very independent at an early age. I've always been able to entertain myself. I've always been able and fine with being by myself. So when I got my first professional job as an admissions recruiter and I had to travel alone, that was not a scary concept to me. I was totally fine doing it. I'm here with this confession to share how I've learned to appreciate, notice, and express gratitude. Because I don't think those are always learned behaviors. I really believe, especially for us elder millennials on the cusp of Generation X and the millennial generation, we've been expected to just know how to do things, right? We came up in the era of, really more later in life as adults, the era of Ask Jeeves, Google, you could be resourceful and find information that you needed yourself. And there was this big push to go to college, to live on your own, to be independent. So that's just sort of the framework that I'm working with. That's my mindset. So here is what I did, and I want to share with you in case you're in that same boat or you're also kind of struggling with showing emotion or vulnerability. I got you as well. My Enneagram 8s, we're here. So take this advice from a fitness professional who is an Enneagram 8 and a very independent person and somebody who has had to learn how to show, notice, express gratitude. Here's what I did. I'm going to give you the 3 keys. 3 keys to gratitude. Very important in this holiday season and just generally in life. Okay. The first thing is teaching yourself how to notice an opportunity to be grateful. It is it is uncomfortable sometimes when somebody offers to do something for you or does it for you. For example, like let's say you're hosting a holiday party or an event, you have people at your house. Almost by, I think it's just a learned behavior. What can I do to help you? How can I help you? Can I do something for you? Can I help here? And our initial reaction's like, no, you relax, I've got this. We almost don't know how to recognize like actual help. People offering to help us. I think we're getting better. But that's a moment. And how do you notice or listen for opportunities for gratitude or for somebody offering help for you? Pause. There's just this quick gut reaction to like, oh no, I got this. You don't need to help me. No, don't hold the door for me. No, don't do that for me. Take a second. In order to notice opportunities to express gratitude, you have to listen, you have to pause. So it's almost training yourself to pause when somebody has asked you a question or offered their services. Pause. Is this an opportunity for somebody to help me? Is this an opportunity for me to express gratitude to somebody? Pause. That's the first step. The second step is to savor and simmer. Instead of allowing yourself to feel uncomfortable when somebody is doing something for you, let it simmer. Savor the moment. The things that have really helped me in accepting help from other people, which allows me to have gratitude for other human beings, I go every 2 weeks to get my nails done. Now, I know you might think that's a silly thing. It gives me an opportunity to have my hands tied up. I have to savor the moment. It sounds ridiculous, but that has really helped me with savoring and simmering and not always having to be doing. So give yourselves opportunities to savor and simmer. Maybe it's a warm cup of coffee on the porch. Savor, simmer. Maybe it's cozying up under a blanket and petting your animal. Savor, simmer. That is going to allow you to open yourself up to vulnerability and ultimately to expressing and sharing gratitude with other human beings. Okay, so once we have noticed, listened, paused, savored, simmered, how do we express gratitude? Okay, this is a lot. It's really broken into 6 areas, I think 6 areas. The first is relatedness. Like, how do you relate to other people? Being relatable. Realizing that we are related. We are connected to every living thing on this planet. And that's a very heavy thing to say. We are connected to other human beings. Like, we are all in this together. So allowing yourself to be related, relatable, and recognizing that humans are just trying to help other humans. Period. Period. Sincerity. So instead of this memorization that we have of, hey, can I help you? No, thanks, I'm good. Look somebody in the eye and say, you know what? It would be awesome if you could pick up that box over there. Connect with them, look them in the eye, have that shared moment, and be sincere with it. That's going to connect you to another human being, and that is going to swell your heart with warmth and allow you to have gratitude toward others. Promise. Empathy. Okay. Empathy is something that it's hard to learn. Sympathy can be learned. Empathy is harder, like actually physically imagining yourself in their situation. So imagine that you are, instead of the one hosting, we love to host, that's why I'm giving that example. Imagine that you are the one at somebody else's house. You've never been there before, you're kind of uncomfortable. 10 out of 10 probably didn't want to be there because let's be real, we would just rather be alone in our own houses. You don't have to tell me, I know. I understand. on the way to most events, I'm like, why are we doing this? Why are we not just at home in our comfy clothes on the couch watching Gilmore Girls? I know, believe me, I know. But imagine, okay, so you are in that person's shoes. They don't really want to be there. They're being polite. They're asking if they can help. Give them something to do. Like, put yourself in that person's situation and think about, how would you like somebody to respond to you in that situation? It's not always a perfect exchange. Like, you're not always going to get the love and gratitude back that you're putting out. You're not. But at the end of the day, like, you're going to feel crappier if you didn't extend. You will. Overall, you will. Self-regard. Okay, so these are these pillars that are allowing you to express and acknowledge gratitude. Okay, self-regard. So how you see yourself in other situations, right? Like, how everything's a gift. Like, you are just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. You are not really the greatest thing in the world. I mean, you are, clearly, but you are one small piece in a much bigger puzzle. So remembering that there is more out there than just you can help you identify and share gratitude. Integrity is another one. So being honest about who you are, taking responsibility for yourself. So not just pushing blame onto others, allowing yourself to reflect on your own being. That can help you encourage and improve your sense of deep gratitude. And then, of course, humility. So I think as an Enneagram 8 and also as an elder millennial, we have been, and we really rose as adults in this area of sharing social media. We're like achieving the aesthetic, and we're always chasing perfection. Enneagram 3s as well. Whew, y'all are worse than we are. There's like this sense of, and like I said, I was raised to be very independent. There was this sense of like, yeah, I did it by myself. Like, I went from here to here with no help. Humility really helps you recognize that no, you did not get there by yourself. No one does things by themselves in a bubble. There are always, in every situation, there's always somebody that is helping you, even if it's behind the scenes and silent. There is always somebody else helping you on your journey, whether you want to recognize that or not. I mean, when you step back and think about that, how can you not have immense gratitude for the energy that's being shared in the world? This is something that has taken me time. And I think some of it too is embracing, I think a lot of it, I'm trying to think when I discovered that I was probably way too independent and too self-resourceful and probably didn't have a lot of gratitude for others. I think things like traveling have really helped me recognize that, there are a lot more people in this world. There are a lot more places. There is more than just my own little bubble of what's important. This is going to sound weird, but I think embracing like the present. So my yoga practice, my yoga teacher training really helped with that. Understanding that you're here in this moment and allowing yourself to actually be here now has really helped me with noticing and expressing gratitude and like embracing things as they are. I was a big anti-Christmas person. I wanted to skip Christmas. Look up the John Christian book, Skipping Christmas. I think it's actually a movie as well with Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis. Christmas with the Cranks is what it's called. One of my favorite holiday movies still. But I spent several years skipping Christmas. And there are other reasons for that, but I thought this silly made up, like very commercialized part of the holiday was just too much. So I wanted to skip it, and I did for several years. But I started a couple of years ago really embracing it for what it is. not really getting too swept up, like still having that bigger picture view, that more bird's eye view of it, but just allow yourself to enjoy, allow yourself to immerse, allow yourself to be present, allow yourself to be lighthearted and silly and fun and get into weird traditions and the silliness of the season. I think that really helped me notice, understand, and express gratitude. And once you're able to come out of this sense of like, I have to be independent, I have to do things myself, other people don't understand what I'm going through, that opens you up to be more vulnerable and allows you to accept help from others, which can in turn allow you to understand, notice, savor, simmer, pause, and begin to express gratitude. So in order to recognize gratitude and express gratitude, you have to first understand what it is and where it's coming from. Then you can really realize, oh wow, I am immensely grateful for all of these things in my life, for people looking out for me, even behind the scenes, for people taking, for me, it's like for people taking the time out of their day to come work out with me. Like, what? That's amazing. For people coming to my house to work out with me, for, people looking out for me behind the scenes when I don't really realize, what that might mean, for listening to this, for sharing your stories, for joining fitness groups, all of those things. Like, you're able to better have and express gratitude for others when you're able to recognize what it actually is. So that's what helped me realize what gratitude is and then be able to better express it. So now when I accept help from somebody else, I can be more sincere with it. I can actually thank them. It's not just a, quick thank you card or thank you email after something. It's legitimate, like from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And it feels more genuine and I feel more connected to others as a result of it. So there it is, my confession of I don't think I really understood what gratitude was, and now I feel way more connected to it. And that was kind of a key through those three key things, the 6 pillars of gratitude, all helped me realize and recognize what gratitude actually is, how to understand it, and being able to express it. So if my cold heart can do it, I have faith that your cold heart can do it as well. That is our confession for this week. Bottom line, genuinely, I am grateful for you. Thank you so much for joining me with this podcast on YouTube, on Anchor, all of the different things. And I appreciate you.